Welcome back, everybody. IGN Live at Gamescom 2016. I'm Damon Hatfield. I'm joined by Torben, who's the lead online designer for Hitman.
Yes.
And you guys just released, is it chapter 4?
It's episode 4, but it's actually
4.
the 5th one that came
But
out.
yeah,
because of the
the
summer bonus
numbering.
episode. Yes.
We're going to Bangkok this time.
Yes, indeed. We're going to the exclusive Hitman hotel, which is one of those hotels you never ever hear about.
Yeah.
It's one of these hotels that you only get into if you know the guy who owns it, right?
Yeah.
And we're going there We're going there to meet a young man and his lawyer, a talented musician called Jordan Cross. He's there kind of in hiding after a media controversy about the death of his girlfriend. So he's been smuggled away by his billionaire father, and he and his band are recording an album there. Now, Jordan Cross is 27, and 27 is when rock stars die.
That's like, yeah.
So
it's sad but true.
47 is going there to take on Jordan Cross, and his family's lawyer, who's also there to try and make certain that Jordan doesn't do anything stupid like actually admit that he was involved in the death of his girlfriend.
Yeah. Well, how would you describe the genre of Jordan's band?
How did I put it earlier? It's one of those songs that you wish you didn't kind of like.
Right, yeah.
What is that genre? I don't know.
Guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure, that's a good genre, right?
Let's start a guilty pleasure band.
I think the lead level designer on this, Rasmus Hammerfeldt, said this really well when he said, I've heard this song every day for a year, and I still kind of like it.
Yeah. Well, you had like a viral music video that came out ahead of the new episode, but you also just told me you released like a full album, or like a EP maybe.
Four singles. Yes.
Yeah.
I think we're actually doing vinyl of it.
Really?
Why wouldn't you, right? But yeah,
if you want to be really hip, you release it on cassette tape.
Oh my
these
God!
days.
Is that how we're doing it?
Yeah.
Now?
That's how the kids are doing it.
I'll let Sven know. But I mean, as you see it, right? It's this wonderful tropical hotel, the kind of place that where billionaires can get away with anything. It's as I said, it's the 4th story episode, and this is the point where we actually take a real step forward in the story, and this mission ends with a really interesting reveal that sets up the rest of the season. Really puts some pieces in motion.
How large is our environment here, would you say?
Well, large is an interesting question in Hitman because it's about navigable space, right? Because obviously when you stand on the pier and you look out, it feels enormous. And it is big because every room is a place you can go into. Multiple floors, 2 penthouses in 2 floors. One of them obviously filled by Jordan Cross and his band, The Class. But the other part is, I think, not currently occupied, at least not for this mission, but I know of at least one elusive target that will be in there.
Interesting. Yeah, so I know Hitman is all about sort of discovering your options available to you. I know you don't want to spoil any of that, but what can you tell us about this environment and what Agent 47 might find?
There are a couple of, well, obviously there are all of the different ways to take on the targets, to get into the band. I mean, I've heard that their drummer had a mental breakdown and was flown out, and a replacement is on the way in, but nobody's seen him yet.
Interesting.
And I'm pretty certain that 47 is lethal on the drums.
Is he lethal on the drums? That's part of his training. Was he's got to rip on the skins.
I think he practiced.
Oh, he's been practicing. Okay.
Yes, I mean, obviously he would, right? He knows he's going there. He knows there's some issues with the drummer, so he'd practice a riff or two.
Yeah, no, I believe he could learn a few.
Yes, he's good at percussion, I think. But apart from that, obviously there are all of the unlocks on the level, and we've kind of gone to town with some of the things you can unlock here. 2 of them that I think are a lot of fun. There's everyone's favorite, completely impossible weapon, which is a silenced shotgun.
Wow. Because
why wouldn't you have a silenced shotgun?
Yeah.
And the other one is an exploding phone.
Okay. Yeah.
People will pick that up, and then you can dial it, and then have a bad day.
Then they don't have a head
Exactly.
anymore. Someone's having a birthday party.
Yes, this is Jordan Cross's birthday party, right? And he, as I said, he's turning 27, and his roadies and his band have just trashed the place, right? As they always do.
Yeah.
And because it's his dad that owns the hotel, he can get away with it. But there are also other things. I mean, I've heard that the hotel has a roach problem, and they've brought in an exterminator. And you know, those pipes, they fit everywhere, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There are all kinds of things that could go wrong.
Now you're sort of in uncharted territory with Hitman, just in the fact that you've gone with this episodic model.
Yeah.
I think the first part of the game was released in March earlier this year.
Yes.
So several months in, what would you say you've learned?
Well, A whole bunch is the short answer.
Sure.
I think we've learned that this is a really good fit for the way that a game like Hitman is played. Not simply because he's a guy who travels the world, meets interesting people and kills them and then goes to a different place. But also because Hitman levels are, and particularly in this new game, they are full of depth. There is so much that you can do. And I mean, I don't know about you, but when I'm playing a game that has a strong story component, I kind of burn through it, right? You just burn through it 10 hours later, you kind of, I'm not playing this, I'm finished, right? But with the way we're releasing this game, the fact that you have a level with all of its content and its depth and its richness, you have time to go deep. You're kind of like, okay, I don't need to push forward. I can go back and see if there was something I could do with that birthday cake. Or in Paris, you can go back and say, I've seen that people can walk on the catwalk as Helmut Krüger. Can I do that? So it's kind of, I think, allowed people to kind of relax and enjoy the content that they've got.
Yeah, which kind of takes us back to the earlier days of gaming, right? Where before it was all about narrative, it was just about playing with the mechanics. Super Mario Bros., you would just play that game over and over again, right? And it's cool that we've kind of come back to that now with Hitman.
And one of the two features that are really big, we're looking at Jordan Cross here, he's a really talented singer. He's one of these guys where you're almost kind of wondering if he deserves it.
Yeah. Even though he has a billionaire dad.
He's got, well, I don't know, is that a death sentence?
No.
But I mean, objectively speaking, the guy did push his girlfriend off the top of a building. He was mad when he did it, but he did do it, right? But he's definitely the target where I sometimes think, I mean, rock stars have gotten away with worse, right?
Well,
anyways,
probably, yeah.
I mean, that's more of a side note. The thing I was talking about pure mechanics.
Yeah.
So we have narrative elements that are part of our live service, these elusive targets, these little story-driven missions that are only in the game for a short period of time. Just 2 weeks ago, we had The Broker, who was an art auctioneer, and he was in Paris selling a Fabergé egg for £20 million. And you had to kill him and steal the egg, and you only had 72 hours to do it. And people had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
But that's very narrative, very true to the fiction. The other part of the game that people have been having a lot of fun with are what we call escalation contracts, which are contracts where we add in new rules every time you complete it the first time. You complete it the first time, we say, okay, you did it, cool. Can you do it again if you have to hide all the bodies in 90 seconds? Can you do it again if you've also got to kill this guy? Can you do it again if you've got to kill both of these guys with a snipe? Can you do it if you have to kill both of these guys and this guy with a katana while you're dressed as a plague doctor, and you can only transport the katana while you're dressed as the plague doctor? So it's kind of almost like horde mode.
Yeah.
It's afictional. So we get people, I get people tweeting at me saying, "Oh my God, Torben, why are there landmines in the level that only blow up on 47?" And that makes no narrative sense, and I accept that. But what it does is it challenges you to navigate the space differently.
Yeah.
You have to switch off your muscle memory and re-navigate the space in a new way. So it actually results in some really interesting, pure mechanical challenges for our players.
Yeah, I mean, it's a video game first.
Exactly, right?
That's what I always
And it's wonderful that we have the scope to come up with those challenges and give them to our players.
Yeah.
And see what sticks and what doesn't.
So this is all part of season 1.
Yes.
I know you're taking it one season at a time. What's left to come in season 1?
We have 2 episodes ahead of us.
Okay.
In addition to this one. And we've said that those will take place in the US and in Japan. Yes.
Very much looking forward to the Japan.
Oh yes, I've played it. It's good.
The Bangkok episode is out now.
Absolutely.
And all the previous episodes. So you said there's 5 locations now.
There are 5, well actually depending on how you look at it, right? There are 4 locations plus the 2 alternate locations for Sapienza and for Marrakesh, right?
Marrakesh, yeah.
So it's 6 locations on which people can create contracts. And we actually just, with this update, rolled in an update to contracts mode where you can send a 12-digit code from your contract and anyone else can just grab it and play it.
Yeah.
So it makes it much easier for people to share their awesome contract creations.
It's an interesting model. It's a new way to sort of roll out a game. I can tell you that whenever we write about Hitman on IGN, though, the fans seem to like it. They seem to be enjoying this sort of like steady rollout of content and playing levels all sorts of different ways, seeing all the different things they can do. So I think it's cool.
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
Cool. Thanks so much for coming by the show.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That's Hitman. The Bangkok level is out now. For more video games from Gamescom 2016, stay tuned.